Rosie here at Just Chill Baby Sleep. Today I'm talking about moving your baby out of your room and when is the best time to do this, and some tips and advice on this if you want to do it. So first of all, you have to want to do it. It needs to be your decision, not your family's decision, well-wishers, friends, whoever else in your extended network. Just because they've moved their baby, it doesn't mean that you should. It needs to be your decision and you need to feel comfortable and confident with that decision. When's the right time to do it? Well, the guidelines from the Lullaby Trust, the baby sleep charity, is to keep your baby in with you for the first 6 months of their life. This is to help reduce against the chance of SIDS. However, many people keep them in longer than 6 months and many people move them out sooner. It's balancing all of the information and making an informed choice that you feel comfortable with. When babies do get to around 6 months, and possibly a little bit before, their sleep cycles mature and they become a bit more aware of their surroundings. So you can find potentially that you disturb one another in your sleep. So you might not be sleep cycling at the same time as your baby, and it might be that they are rousing, and that happens to be when you come in the room to go to bed, or it might be that you're rousing in your sleep or your partner's snoring, and that's potentially disturbing baby. So it's worth bearing those things in mind when you're thinking about potentially moving them. I have seen improvements when babies have been moved. However, there's lots of advantages to keeping them in with you. Number one, if you're breastfeeding and you're doing that through the night, it can be easier to keep them next to you. And obviously co-sleeping, if it's something that you want to do, has lots of benefits of its own. However, if that's not you, then it is okay to move them out when you are ready, and there is lots of other benefits to moving them out. So don't move them out during a period of illness because it's not going to work. They're going to be upsettled. Don't move them when there is a new sibling about to arrive, if they're an older toddler or child who's been in with you, because there's an element that they're going to feel rejected. So if you know you're having another child, do it sooner rather than later so that they don't link the two things. What can you do to help this transition? Well, think about what your little one's sleeping in, and if they are co-sleeping or they're in a bedside crib, you might want to move them into a cot in your room before you move that into their own room so they can get used to the bed, if that's possible, the space. Not everyone has space in their bedroom for the big cot. So if you prefer, you can just put a big cot straight into the new room, or you can prepare them in advance and have them sleep in the cot in your room first. The tip that I use is slept in bedding. So if they're in a cot in your room and you're going to move that into their room, don't change the bedding first. The bedding will then smell familiar, which makes babies feel really safe. They love smells. So slept in bedding. If they've not slept in that cot before and the bedding's different, the new bedding you're going to use, you can sleep with that in your bed so that it smells of mum and dad before the transition, and babies really, really like that. That can help. If they have a comforter, obviously you're going to be moving that over with them, or you can try introducing one from 6 months. So a small little teddy or a bit of material that they like. Babies are very tactile, they like to have things to hold, so that can really help the transition. Be brave and be confident in your decision. Stay calm, keep a really consistent bedtime routine. Don't change it up and make things unfamiliar. You want to do things in the same order as you would normally do. Do your feed in the same place that you would normally do. If you do want to change the place in your home where you do the feeds before bed, then obviously you can do that, but maybe don't do it the first couple of nights. So if you normally do it in your room or the front room, keep doing that. And then if you want to, you can change it to their room if that feels right for you. It's got to be what feels right for you. What you can do is work out slightly different approaches for different types of children. So if you've got a really chilled, laid back baby or child, you might find that the transition's easy and it makes no difference. If they're sleeping independently, they fall asleep on their own at bedtime, they will probably just be fine with the transition and just go to sleep. However, if your child is a bit more sensitive, you might need to do the process a bit more gradually. So spend some time supporting them at bedtime. You might stay next to the cot for some time. In the cases of the most sensitive type of children, you could even put a mattress on the floor next to their cot, so they could get used to you sleeping there before you then remove that away eventually. And you need to put a plan together for that. But it depends on the child, and so many of them are just happy just to go with the flow, and actually parents are really surprised with how well they get on. See how you go with it. Make sure that the environment is really consistent with good sleep, which would be nice and dark. Invest in some blackout blinds, blackout curtains. If they have white noise, continue with the same white noise. Make sure they've got a clear, safe cot, so no cot bumpers, nothing in the cot other than maybe a small comforter. Make sure that the room's a really nice temperature, so ideally between 16 and 20 degrees. We actually sleep better when we're slightly cooler. I like baby sleeping bags because baby's able to move around freely without kicking the bedding off, and sometimes they can wake up cold if the bedding's come off. It might be that this is new to your child or your baby if you've been co-sleeping and then you're not co-sleeping anymore, because the chances are you might not have been using a sleeping bag. But it's fine just to go crack on and introduce a sleeping bag. That's absolutely fine. With anything new, sometimes babies get upset and we just support them through that. But you need to feel ready. The right time is when it's right for you. Don't be afraid. Don't think baby's never going to sleep if I put them in their own room. A lot of those fears can come from us, and it's quite normal to want to be close to your child. But there are times when we think, actually, we might all sleep a bit better if they were in their own room. But it's different for everyone and different for every baby. So make sure you've got the right plan for you and do it when you feel ready, and everything will be fine. Best of luck, guys.